Is Bitcoin flatlining? Are you tempted to lose focus? Staying locked in could be the smartest move you ever make. Lunchtime's getting wild, guys. I think I'm losing it out here. Welcome back. We're here on a lunch video. Basically, I was just curious if you guys are bored yet. I keep looking at the Bitcoin price and it sits at 110, 19, 111, 120, or actually it hasn't been 120 in weeks. But I know at this point, a lot of people stop paying attention. They stop watching the videos. They stop paying attention to the Bitcoin news, and this is where you just lose it. I know my last cycle, it was on the downside of basically on the dip, um, going into the bear market, and I just decided that I was done. I sold it, and I didn't want to pay attention to it anymore. And I know this is where people tend to lose their drive, their ambition, basically they just out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. And this is not the spot to do that. You want to, at this point, you need to be stacking as hard as you can, because right now we're sitting at 110. You're going to be wishing for this price in a year. And even if we decide to go all the way back down to, my guess, in the next bear market, probably about 150, I mean, we're still $40,000 from that mark. And obviously, it's not financial advice, blah, blah, blah. But you got to keep your eye on the ball, basically, what I'm trying to say. Because if you don't, fucking fly, really? Well, you can't say I don't do these live. That one totally frazzled me. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully I'm not interrupted so rudely by that fly again. So basically what I'm trying to get at is that most of the time, about this time, about when we get above the old all-time high, people start taking out capital, thinking that's the market is topped. And I know I've heard a bunch of the market's double topped, it's going back down. I was like, it only hit 120. I know there's these people out there that are selling their bag at $120,000 thinking we're going into the bear market. But guys, it's not even, it's September. Like this is when it's supposed to go up. I mean, it's called October for a reason. And people are they're like trying to jump off they think they're smart, so they're like taking their profits right now. And I'm like, at least if you're gonna do that, wait till January, wait till February. At least the old cycle says that's when it should top out. Everybody knows on this channel I don't believe in the cycle anymore. I believe that we are in a new cycle, and 4-year cycles may not be a thing. They may even stretch out longer, like where we have small bear markets, but never really almost like matured into like the S&P 500 cycles. Because everything still has a cycle. Even like the stock market has a cycle. They have bear years and they have bull years. So these things still exist, but they're not as drastic as like our BTC's cycles were. And then obviously you still got the halving in there, but what I believe the next epoch, where it's either the next epoch or the epoch after that, we're below 1 BTC every minute, or sorry, every 10 minutes. They're going to have a diminishing return for the supply, I think, because we're pretty much, I believe, I think I heard it was like 95% already all BTC exists today. And then we're just working on that last 5% for the next 100 years. So you're going to run into diminishing returns in that point. So if you can keep your resolve during this cycle, I think you have some runway. Probably 2025, 2026. If I was believe the old cycle, and I used to follow that cycle to the dot, sell off would be about February. And if you believe that it topped too early, which some people say we topped too early because we topped before the halving, even if you think we're on an accelerated timeline, you're still talking November. Like I said, I don't believe in that cycle no more, but I think we need to just take a break. And that's kind of what I've done this week is I just kind of disconnected from Bitcoin for a while, and then realized that the price didn't do anything. The whole time I was gone, it went up and down like 2%, and that's what you want to see in a savings asset basically. And you just can't lose. You can't take your eye off the ball. I know I've repeated that like 3 times now, but I think it's super important that everybody stays focused, keep that game plan that you had, earlier this year when we were spiking up 5, 10, 15%. Keep that plan in your mind, and make sure you're doing everything you can to save as much as you can on for your Bitcoin journey. Well, I guess I'm done on this one. Sorry, this one rambled around, but hey, we're back in the truck, aren't we? See? So hopefully everything is going good with you guys. And if you guys can hit that like button, subscribe button, and the bell notification, I'd appreciate it. And hopefully I don't have to, I think my logo is in the screen, so I may have to do some editing, guys. Don't let me forget. Have a good one. If you guys want to see more videos, they'll be over here. If you want to see the playlist, it's over here. And if you want to hit the subscribe button, it's probably right here. Later, guys.